All right.
And we're back. Episode 8, I think.
The 6th of September.
Is it episode 8?
Yes.
Okay.
And it is, this will air, 3 days from now?
On
4
Sunday.
days?
Busch Light.
Yeah, something like that.
Not sponsored.
No.
But it's, Jesse came over after work, and we're here. We're going to talk about his Kentucky hunt, a couple guys killed, and the weather.
Yep.
The weather pattern has changed. I think it was it 57 when I got up this morning?
Yeah, that was not what it was in Kentucky.
Yeah, it was.
It got down to like 78 at night.
And it's humid.
Horrible.
Yeah.
It sucked. It
Yeah,
was
I remember.
I think when I drove down there Friday, it was hot. Hunted Saturday, but Sunday was, man, it was bad.
And this was last weekend. It
Yeah.
opened on the 1st.
It opened on the first Saturday, so the second. The second.
Okay.
It was real feel over 100 degrees, and it was by far the hottest I've ever been deer hunting, ever.
I remember your Snapchat. I kind of gave you this idea.
The fan?
A little clip-on fan to get some air. Did that work?
It did. Yeah, I mean, I had it like on my bow hanger at first, and then I'm like, it's so far away, and I'm like, it's like 2 hours before deer are even going to move, but being I was on public, had to hang and hunt every time, so I would just get drenched doing everything. And so I like had my vinyl harness here, and I like bent the legs around and just had it sitting right here. And
the battery life lasts quite a bit.
Yeah, it's rechargeable, so it's like a stroller. It's for strollers.
Yep.
So it ran for like 3.5 hours on low because you get it high and it's pretty loud.
Noise, yeah.
But besides that, it was pretty good.
I think we had one when Jace was a baby. Like, I remember at the state fair, he'd just be passed out. The fan was on him. I'm like, I want to grab the fan.
Right.
But, yeah. So Kentucky was a bust, but
For me, but
when you were there,
Yep.
why don't you talk about the
Yeah.
deer that were shot?
yeah, so Dylan Eccles invited me down. Was one of the first people that I really asked to be part of Outdoor X when we decided to like have a team and do
Yep.
things. He's not a big social media guy. He does some stuff, but he doesn't do it like we do every single day. So he's kind of low key when it comes to that, but he's been after this giant 8-point all season. He's known about him for a couple years. He was telling me the story when I was down there, and basically he would glass this deer in this bean field every night, every day. Like, he was getting pictures of him during the middle of the day. It's 90 degrees and this deer's out eating beans at 1 o'clock.
So you had cameras all over,
Had
too?
cameras are surrounding it, but it's like a skinny field. From the road to the back of it was like 800 yards.
He was looking from the road?
And he was looking from the road. But the beans were like even with the deer's back. So if the deer's eating, you can't see him. So he would sit out there checking on the way to work. He works third shift as a coal miner.
Oh.
So he's on his way to work at 7:30. He'd stop in for 15 minutes and glass in the field every night. And the deer had been gone for 3 or 4 days. And he's like, well, he's probably shedding velvet. The night before opening night, he gets one picture of him at dark on a different field, and it looks like one of the twos is coming out. This deer's huge. So he's like, he's been bedding in the beans. So he snuck in at like 3:30.
To the other field where he's...
On the bean field.
On the bean field.
Because where he'd gotten the picture of him was an adjacent field across a ditch and had corn. So he figured that the deer was coming through the beans, going into the corn and all that stuff. But he didn't know if he was bedding in the timber, if he was in the beans, because he bedded in the beans a lot. And he sat there, and at 5 o'clock, the deer came out of the timber with another little buck, walked all the way across the field to 30 yards.
Wow. Yeah, and by this time, by now, most of the people that follow our social media have
seen
seen
the pictures.
a picture of.
Video's awesome.
And you scored that deer at 180.
So I scored it at 181. He had a guy for a local archery contest scored at 178.
Yep.
The big difference is, so on the brow,
This is in velvet.
Full velvet.
So there's no drying period for full velvet?
For
Boone and
For Boone and Crockett, there would be, and I don't actually think you can put a velvet deer in.
Okay.
Because of the mass and all that stuff.
That'd be a Cameron question.
Yes. So long story short, there's 3 brows, and I'll show it like this. There's another one that runs along the side, and it'd be like if this was velvet and there was still velvet here, I could put my finger there and I could move the velvet.
Okay. So they're not counting that as
they're not counting the
2
third
inches.
Point, and when I scored it, it was over 3 inches long. So that is where the difference in our score. So that deer's right around 180.
That's a big mainframe 8. That's
like
pretty cool.
Upper 60s mainframe 8.
What is his twos? 15?
15.
Right at 15?
25-inch beams.
Wow.
They don't look it.
That deer is a freak.
He's huge.
In Kentucky, I mean, that's going to be one of the bigger deer shot in Kentucky. I mean, Kentucky's a sleeper state, but
Western Kentucky has big deer. I got a text from a mutual friend of ours that he was down there hunting, and the guy he was with shot a 215 the same night.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
So, and then I heard about another one that was in the mid-90s that was killed the same day.
I think I've seen that one on social media, full velvet.
Yep. So Kentucky's a sleeper.
Yeah, I wish we had an opportunity. I think we talked about this in a podcast before, but to have an opportunity at a velvet deer, and maybe someday down the line Iowa will do it. I doubt it, but who knows?
Yeah, I don't think they will. It's hard enough to get them to change anything.
Well, I mean, they've changed quite a. If you look back, even the last 10 years, they've changed a lot of things.
Yeah.
So
yeah, they're learning to adjust a little bit. I just hope they keep the residency stuff.
I agree with that. I think if they allow more ways to hunt, more time to hunt deer, get more youth back involved, because that's fall. I mean, there's hardly any kids out there these days.
Yeah.
We used to do programs for hunter safety. We're not doing them anymore because there's no one that's.
Funding's not there.
Well, it's not even that. It's not the funding. There's no interest.
Right. It's a completely different way of growing up now. I mean, both of our sets of kids are hunting. If we didn't hunt, they wouldn't.
Right.
There's no outreach for it, that there was when we were younger.
So take a kid hunting. I mean, if that's the one thing you guys take away from this podcast is
absolutely.
And it's exciting because we're having, this is Jace's first year. I just bought him this vest, which it's pretty cool. We put it on. Jace is only 5, but we've been practicing his BB gun every night. So HME sells, it's like $9 for an orange vest. So go on Amazon.com and pick one of those up.
Yep.
It's you've already been through this. Girls have shot deer. So I'm really excited this year. Like fun. I got 4 blinds in the basement, and I'm like, all right, when do I put them out? It's supposed to rain. I don't want to get the wind.
Right.
Put them in bean fields.
16th.
Yep.
So 10 days.
Yep. And the high. So we got the 10-day or the extended forecast goes to
like 14 days or something.
Yeah. So you can see, and it looks like there's a killer cold front coming. So
we need something. We need some rain.
Yes.
Which I don't see.
I think there's 20%, 15%. So you're saying there's a chance. Whether it happens or not, I don't know, but. I will be buying some rye to try to save some plots.
Yeah, I went down last week before I left for Kentucky, and my Braskas that were in a few areas that were big were awesome. Everything else was purple.
Yeah.
Purple and just completely trashed. And it's unfortunate because there's a lot of food that's the only food on the farm.
That's one of those years, man.
Every year it seems to be.
This one in particular for everybody. I would say almost everybody except like those northern guys, like Austin. His plots look killer. Ours, we had that good rain right away. Things happen, but hopefully we can sacrifice a few of them, like shoot a deer or 2 over them. But anyway, so plots, they are what it is what it is. You still got to put up your blind. You got plans for that
next week? Yeah,
next week.
I'm just this week's busy. By the time this comes out, we will have had the Iowa State game, so it's a big weekend in Iowa for us.
Yep.
Go Hawks, and we'll see.
It'll be hopefully a Hawkeye victory, but it's this Saturday.
But yeah, and Dove Open.
Yeah, Dove opened. You went out last night, shot some. I don't have
Wait.
Maybe
I got something for you.
dove poppers. We need to warm them up. Dove jerky. Oh, dove meat. Oh, do I get
Jalapenos.
is that from the garden?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
So they're in the cooler.
Sweet. Thank
All
you.
yours.
I get a
My first
cook and eat some dove
My
poppers.
first limit is to you
Oh,
because I know you didn't get to go.
Yeah, I didn't get to go.
And I went this morning with a buddy, and we shot 6 or 7. So I can go almost every night.
So you can go. The
Yeah,
doves
I'll
are
get
there.
enough.
Yeah, and I was, maybe next year I'll plant a sunflower field, but I didn't have the drive to go because you were in Kentucky, and I didn't what am I gonna do?
Yeah, it's fun, but it's funner to go with people.
Right.
It's one of the hunts that
Yeah.
it's more fun with people.
Yeah, I'm gonna go myself and shoot them. When it's nice for you because you're so close to your
Right.
field.
3 or 4
Me,
minutes.
I got to
from my
go.
house.
Probably 10 minutes and then deal with
Yeah, you're
30
hunting
or
public
40
at that
people. Yeah.
And mine's
So.
mine's not the best field. There's not a ton of doves, but it's private and you can scratch them out.
Right. There's a few there. And I went Saturday, Aaron and I put up the tower at my property for the hawk.
Okay,
5-foot
yep.
stand. And there's doves flying around the entire time. So I wish I would have had a shotgun there and
Right.
shot a few, but oh well. Maybe get out with you and scratch you out. But
Yeah, it should be good for a little bit still, but it just passes that time. Those couple weeks, first part of September,
It is something to do. Yeah.
you can't really do anything quite yet, and
Squirrel opened as
Squirrel
well.
and rabbit, yeah.
A lot of people go squirrel hunting. It
I
seems
used
like
to.
Northeast Iowa, there's a lot. Like on the WMAs, when I used to work up there, there was rocks that were charred because the guys took their propane torch and torched all the hair off the squirrels.
Really?
It smelled pretty disgusting, but I guess that's how they prepped them for cooking or cooked. I don't know.
we
It's
when we
interesting.
used to do it. We'd skin them.
Yeah, barbecue them.
Just
They're good.
Squirrels one of those things. Yeah, some people think it's gross, but it's not bad.
Yep.
And growing up eating it a little bit, and it's not like that was your meal all the
Yeah.
time. It was like, hey, we shot a limit of squirrels. We're just gonna fry them up. So
But the last time that I actively tried to shoot a squirrel was during the Redneck Slam. When Bill was talking about
Yeah.
that, it was like, oh, hey, there's a squirrel. I got to get this for my Redneck Slam.
Right.
So,
yep. And I haven't. Besides that, I used to go with Richard when I lived in Iowa City.
I mean, that guy hunted probably everything.
And we'd shoot a ton of squirrels. My old 410. Yep.
Yep. Squirrels.
Good times.
Yeah. Little barbecue on the grill.
Yeah.
So, early season hunting, I guess let's transition into that real quick and talk about, the success we've had early season and kind of the tactics. We got a little bit, 13 minutes, so yeah, we got quite a bit. Anyway, October 1 is when season opens for us.
Yep. Archery.
We'll have youth season before that, and I guess we can jump into that first.
Right.
The beans have turned. There's a bean field across from the lease. It's out. It's gone.
they
already
combined
picked
it?
Yes. Last weekend.
And I mean, I saw 2 driving back from Kentucky and southeast Iowa bean
Yep.
fields that were done. But yeah, the beans that I sat this morning to dove hunt, they're full green.
Really? Yeah, and that's,
100% green.
that's kind of the weird thing. I don't know if there's like a drought tolerance beans that some, genetically some guys planted versus short-term beans. And I think these, maybe they were short-term or maybe they semester died quicker and then the leaves fell off. And
Or it could be soil. The soil, if the
Yep.
soil is
a lot
lacking
of, a lot of
something.
factors,
So-
especially with that maturity and the different kinds of
And
of
when they
beans.
plant, and
Yep.
I mean every.
But
every
it
farm's
was
different
cool
and stuff like
because
that.
I drove by that and that's the first field I've seen. So that's out. The deer last year were transitioning to that field, so I know they'll probably, now that's gone, they'll probably walk through the beans, go out there. I had Brad and the Big Ten heading out that way last night. He walked
Nice.
through the plot right by where I killed Carlos, and he's a good deer. So I might try to target him early season. Maybe get Jace on him since he found a shed off of him by himself.
That'd be cool.
The problem with that is my hay bale blind has wasp in it.
Gotta go get a bomb.
Well, I might get 3 or 4 of them and throw them in there and then take someone because I got stung by a wasp. Now I have an EpiPen and I don't want to get stung again.
You might have to take Aaron because I'm allergic to that
Yeah,
stuff too.
maybe Aaron could come help me out and drive the side-by-side over there. But so I might take Jace there. It's all rye. It's about an acre since when you and I went there last year. I made it a little bit bigger.
Okay.
There's some green in there, so I might take Jace there, just accessing that with the side-by-side and then walking in with the 5-year-old. You know, you kind of think if he was 12 or 13, it might be a little different.
Walk in farther.
Yeah, so we'll maybe drive the side-by-side in and is what it is. You know, hopefully he can get a shot at a basket rack or at anything.
Right.
So he's not going to be picky. With that, your girls are old enough, you can pretty much take them.
Yeah, they can walk a little bit.
Yeah.
They complain, but they can walk.
Go to your uncle's and
yeah, I don't know. I was texting him this last week, and he's taking a youth hunter out also. So that's something that we're gonna have to talk about because if he's gonna really, there's 2 spots on that farm that you can take somebody, and honestly, it's one.
yeah.
I mean the backfield, but I haven't even been in that soft side. It could
But
have
your-
1,000 wasps in it. I don't know.
Your hawk, he can hunt that too.
He could hunt the hawk on the clover.
He's not real picky.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know what the youth hunter wants
Yeah.
or any of that stuff, but if I get the blinds over on Nick's piece within the next week, the deer will get used to it right away. But I'm gonna put a pop-up blind on over the clover, and then I'm gonna put the hawk on the other side where the brassicas are. But like I said, they're trash.
Yeah, that stinks. But with early season, the whole human interaction thing really hasn't started yet. That's why the first couple days with youth season, it's so good. Even though the beans are changing, you can still have that, you know, first 2 days before they understand what you're doing. They're getting hunted, right?
Right.
Or before they do the September scramble or shuffle, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
So looking back a couple years ago, the youth hunter that I was taking out, he went a couple times, got shots at a real nice buck back-to-back times. But those were bean fields.
Yeah.
So I haven't hunted a lot youth. I mean, I've taken him a few times. He's now not a youth hunter, so now I'm taking Jace. What is it, 15? You're out of
15 or 16, I
15.
can't remember.
Yeah, I think he just turned 15, so he's not in that category anymore. But transitioning from youth, you know, it's kind of take them where you can, get them out, introduce them to the outdoors, let them shoot what they want. And, you know, if a 180-inch deer steps out, I'm probably gonna let him shoot it if he wants to. But if a basket rack steps out, I'm gonna let him shoot it. I don't care.
Right.
You know, it's whatever steps out first and he's happy with. And it's a buck. If he wants to shoot a doe, he's gonna shoot a doe. I mean, it is what it is. He's got a tag, and which I don't have yet. I bought him online for the IODNR. And it's a lot of people are having this issue.
Mine's not showed up either.
Someone posted, I think, Iowa Bow Hunters and asked, hey, has your tag shown up? And everybody's having the same issue. And then I think they Facebook messaged the IODNR and they said, hey, we're running behind or blah, blah, blah. So,
I mean, I'm not worried about mine. I'll buy the girls in person because they're guaranteed their tag.
Yeah.
I bought that antlerless tag for Jasper, and they're gone.
that's good that you bought it online.
Yeah,
But
I bought it. I mean, literally, I bought it at like, I think I woke up to go to the gym at like 5 in the morning, and I woke up and bought it.
We got a few days, though, before they need to be here. So
Right. Mine's October 1st, so I don't really care. But like I said, I'll go to Hy-Vee or something like that and buy the girls their tags and my archery tag and all that stuff. But I think, what is it, September 15th when you can buy more doe tags?
I don't know.
I want to say it is.
I don't buy that many doe tags.
Right. I just buy multiple counties. I like, if I'm going to buck hunt somewhere, I want to have a doe tag just in case.
Yeah.
You know,
And
the last thing of the night, or you're wanting to do that, or you get a doe blowing at you and she blows, she's got to go.
And I guess my strategy behind that is I don't like to mess up my spots. You shoot a lot more does than I do, but after I shoot a buck, then it's game on. Like, I'll go hunt the rut and shoot does, but I'm usually sitting with you or
right.
You know,
and I've always had this. I guess it's my own personal rule. I shoot every doe I can until October 25th.
And I've killed most of
your
deer
deer
in October
or before that, but you have them on camera. If I'm going,
not all deer.
If I'm going to hunt a buck, like if I'm like I have this deer that's been showing up,
Yeah.
I won't shoot a doe. But if I'm just going to go sit and see what shows up, I'm not shooting a doe an hour and a half before dark. I'm like, well, nothing showed up. I haven't anything on camera.
Yeah.
I'm helping the herd.
Yeah. And I buck hunt and then I'll doe hunt second.
Right.
So, I mean, I know I can go out and shoot does, and there is some management that needs done, and that's said with that. Depends on what farm, but
right.
So there's a different scenario, and my tactics are a little bit different than yours. I'm not saying yours are wrong or right.
There's so many ways to look at it because, are you shooting the does before they're bred? So there's less competition come the rut, or are you shooting the does after they're pregnant?
Yeah, but
there's so many different ways to go about it.
I would say yes and no.
Right. Like I said, there's not a right or wrong answer. I'm just saying there's two sides, two theories
especially
or whatever to it.
Where you try to key in to harvest those does. There's so many does that by yourself you're probably not going to be able to complete your goals
I have
in
neighbors
1 year.
And so down south 2 years ago, one of the neighbors killed 75 does during late season. 75 does.
Yep.
That does start affecting things.
Yeah, probably. I mean, you shoot that many.
I mean, between the three between all us, we killed over 100 does in that section in 1 year.
I mean, I guess if it's your own property, you can go manage it that way.
Right.
It's pretty extreme. I hope all that meat's going to a good cause. But
yeah, it doesn't get wasted. There's guys that come and they donate it, and there's certain families that take a whole bunch of it, and it doesn't go to waste.
Yeah,
I know
and that's the thing when I shoot. I try to shoot 2 to 3 does. That's pretty much what I shoot a year if I'm lucky. That's my goal. But before I go out, if I'm trying to shoot a doe, I find those people that are in need.
Yeah.
I got a couple neighbors that, hey, you got it, I'll take it.
Yeah.
I got a buddy that doesn't deer hunt, but hey, you shoot a doe, I'll take it. So before I go out, if I'm just going to go shoot a doe, that's my goal. I'm going to tell them, are you ready for it?
Yeah.
So I'm going to try to get you it. Whether it's going to happen or not, I don't know.
Yeah. Hey, the next couple hunts, I'm going to try to get a doe for you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Awesome.
Yep.
And then
So it's nice to help other people out. The Hush programs seem to be few and far between as far as where to donate.
Yeah, I think it feels like it's going away. I think that's a funding thing.
That's unfortunate.
I think great.
It's a locker to locker thing, which also probably
I'm assuming there was some sort of a tax write-off or a program where the locker got paid by the state for doing it. So at some point, obviously, it wasn't worth it to even. They were losing money at some point because I think a lot of these lockers, if they're breaking even or making very little money, they're going to keep doing it. But if they're losing money, they're not going to.
There's been a lot of lockers too that have either
closed.
Yeah, went bankrupt or just completely closed. So that's unfortunate. Like the one in Redfield, that was nice to go to. So close, but now you got Winterset closest.
So I've gotten stuff from Story City. We bought part of a beef and did that, and then I've done is it Brooklyn? Dayton Locker. That's where I've had my last couple.
That's where I grew up going, and my parents loved it.
Yeah.
And I wasn't a huge fan. I like the sweet kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I go to Hunter's Smokehouse. I believe it's Ackworth.
Yeah.
What's the guy's name? I can't think of it off the top of my head, but he does. You get your own deer back. And that's the biggest thing when you go to these big places like, what's the one down south everybody goes to? Milo. You're getting thrown in and bundled. When you go to Hunter Smokehouse, he calls or texts you and said, hey, I'm ready for your meat. You bring it in, so you get what you get.
Yeah, that's what Dayton does too, is you bring it in and it's per pound. It's all right there. That's what you get.
Yep.
They're a little particular on when you bring it.
Yeah, you're supposed to bring it, yeah.
Right. And I do my deer a little bit different than everybody else does. So I half process all my stuff.
And grind.
So when I shoot a deer, I hang it at my house. I quarter it up, debone it, take everything I want for whole meat jerky, freeze it, take the loins, cut them up, freeze them, and everything else that's trim, I just put in a big bag and throw it in my deep freeze. And then when season's over, I'll pull out those bags and I'll thaw them out in my garage and I'll grind so much for burger.
Yep.
And then I'll set aside a bunch and I'll take that somewhere to go get sticks made just because I've tried to do it myself. It's not the same, and I'll pay for
yeah,
it.
Those guys are professionals at it. And we talk about shooting these does. A lot of that has when I shoot does or when I try, if I'm not buck hunting or a deer disappeared, and I have it. Hey, I just want to go shoot a doe at the tree farm and help out the farm or whatever. I try to make sure it's cold out.
Yeah.
Because I don't like hanging them in here because I got a heater and I have, it's kind of man cave area.
Right.
So if I can hang them outside, I got to work from Monday to Friday, 3:30 to 7. So, unlike you can go cut it up and then go to your job, or you can work your way around it. I have to be at that job. So there's a factor for me when I shoot does or if I shoot a deer, and I have to go blood trail the next day, I can, if it's a buck, I'll try to plan my hunts around my schedule. Like it's a Friday, I've already shot a buck, I'm going to go shoot a doe. It's, I have all the weekend to cut it up. So
yeah. And that's the thing. You just got to kind of plan accordingly and, prepare for the worst case, like, hey, I may not find it tonight. I need to go tomorrow and trail it. Okay, I got it. I got to cut it up. It's going to be warm. And I mean, there's times I've gotten home from Southern Iowa and processed an entire deer.
Same night.
And it's like 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. And I'm fine. And I'm like cleaning everything up.
Yeah. I've done that a couple times, and you're tired the next day, but also cut it up and throw it right in the deep freeze.
Right.
Debone everything. So, yeah, we kind of went on a little bit of a ramble there, but let's go back into October 1, early season hunting. We've transitioned our cameras, at least I have. I'm pretty sure you have. We basically have them on scrapes, on field edges. I have a couple on funnels where I put out because I knew that the deer would start to show up. Those deer have actually started to show up the last couple of days. Those river valleys.
Yeah.
So those cameras are pretty dead, but they'll get better as we get closer to late October, November.
Yeah, I jumped the gun on I've had mine there for a little bit.
Yeah.
I haven't had a lot of food. So a lot of my cameras have been hit and miss just in general. Couple still on like mineral sites, that I'll have to transition off of in the next couple weeks and take care of those. We don't hunt anywhere near them anyways, but you just take care of what you need to make it legal. But the getting them on mock scrapes or, getting those out, because I typically try to have one by most of my stands, just know if a deer's got a pattern on a certain place. And this year's just a little bit different. I mean, there's a lot of different for me that I've had to deal with this year. Losing my best farm, another farm went from, all beans to nothing, no food whatsoever, and just having a down year. It's been frustrating.
Yeah, you'll roll with the punches, and I'm sure you'll shoot a big deer, kind of like you always do. But with you have your cameras out, are you going to move any?
Oh yeah, I'll move. I haven't had as many out. It seems like every year I put out less and less and less early.
Because you know where to put them.
We've already talked about that. Yep. And and when it gets closer to the actual hunting, I'll overload a particular, like let's say a field. I may have a clover plot or like some brassicas or some beans or corn or whatever. I may have half a dozen cameras within 100 yards to try to figure out where deer are accessing in and out of a certain area. Corner will have a scrape just to see what is using that area, where now I may only have one right there just to try to catch the field.
Yep, and that's one thing that I've learned, and I think you've learned as well, is setting these cameras up basically like they're traps. So you set them up. When the deer shows up, all right, he's hitting this plot. All right, I'm going to go in there to this blind or the stand, and I'm going to be able to hunt this deer. Hopefully the wind's right, that you can get in there right away. If it's not, then you might have to go do a hang and hunt, which that's kind of my bread and butter is put these cameras out, get the deer on them, do a hang and hunt. I have probably, I'd say 50-50 cameras. Like I know there's one spot I want to go in where Brad and the Big Ten is, and put on the side of this what is it? I think it's a big oak tree. So I want to have a stand there, but I haven't done that yet. So I might do that before season. But I got all these other cameras around and these different farms where when a deer does show up, I can go in there, either hang a set or I already have a set there. You know, I have cameras spread out, but I also have some cameras close. So, but I try to target one deer in particular, which I got quite a few cameras out for him. And hopefully you guys see a picture of him.
He's still in
come October. Yeah, he came by last night. So he's pretty good.
He's big.
He's still in the area. So we'll see. I was trying to look back and see what time last year he left.
He's one of those that you don't show.
Yeah, you don't show. We'll just say he's large, and hopefully we get to pet him, but we'll see when that comes. But yeah, it's
if he sticks around, he's probably already screwed. So
yeah, the fact is he's just got to stick around. I know there's 2 or 3 other really good deer that I could hunt that I know I have an opportunity to kill, but you know Jen's gonna be gone. It's another factor. She's gonna be gone to Puerto Rico or somewhere. Mid-October. So as far as early muzzleloader goes, you know, I might have an opportunity to go shoot a deer, but you know, we have families and we have to roll the punches when it comes to that. So unless you want to babysit and let me go hunt,
I mean,
Jace is old enough now. I could probably take him. So
right,
depending on where that would be, if it's the blind or something, I probably could take him, which. We'll see. I got 3 blinds set now, and I'll probably have a couple more. But
yeah,
that on the west piece, the turnips and that brome look mighty fine. There's nice bucks out there every night, so we might put up a blind there. And I got 2 cameras. I got one with a solar panel facing to the north and one to the south, so I catch everything in that field. So
okay.
Problem is the neighbors like to ride side by sides, but we'll see. Yeah, that human interaction. I think those deer kind of getting used to it.
No,
They're
I'm
out
sure.
there every weekend. So
I mean, we know that it bothers us more than it bothers the
oh,
deer.
true.
But it really bothers us.
And my father-in-law texted me last night. He's like, "That's the last time Harry's going to be riding the side by side." I'm like, "Jeff, don't worry, man. There's no deer back there behind her house anyway."
Yeah.
So
maybe
they might show up.
Maybe they'll show up. And I mean, that's always a good farm, especially when the rut rolls around.
Yep.
And
rut to late season.
It's one of those you need to, if you have extra cameras, you throw them out there because you never know, something could show up. And if it's not you going to go kill it, Jeff can go out there. And
I mean, he killed 2 old mature bucks off it last year.
What do you ask for? Can't ask for anything more.
He had Jace with him both times out of the hawk blind, which was pretty cool. The one night I was hunting and Jace was over there. They went and sat in the blind, and the oldest deer on the farm, which he was kind of a turd, he had a messed up rack, come by the cell cam. And the next picture you get is Jace and Jeff looking with the flashlight, looking for his bolt from his crossbow.
That's pretty cool.
So that was neat. But yeah, it's trying to get the family out. Jen said she wants to go.
That's good.
So is Jenny going to? No. You
She's
can't
done.
get her to go early muzz?
She deer hunted one time, killed a doe, doesn't want to do it anymore. And I said,
Understood.
That's fine. It was, and I mean, we had both the girls in the blind with us. It was a good hunt. I have it all on video, but she just
Doesn't want
to do it. Maybe I'll get her to turkey. I think I might be able to get her to turkey hunt.
Get her turkey hunt.
But I always have the issue of killing a bird, so it's like,
yeah. Sorry, honey.
I'm frustrated enough as it is, and it wasn't for lack of trying.
Yeah.
But
And hey, now there's a ton of birds on
both
maybe,
the farms.
Maybe they'll stick around.
Yeah, hopefully. I don't know. They've been kind of lax but it's been so hot, and
Yeah.
turkeys just move all over the place. I mean, I'm not worried about it, but
I did get a fall turkey tag. Did you get one?
I will. See, I don't know if I want to get the bow, because with fall turkeys in Iowa, there's 2 tags. There's a combo that starts October 15th, and it's gunner bow till like whenever, but you can get an archery only one that starts October 1st.
I think I did the landowner's archery.
Yeah, so you could shoot one October 1st.
Yep.
And and I don't fall turkey hunt like we used to. We used to do it as a family thing. We'd take a weekend, and you can shoot anything's legal in the fall.
You did turkey drives.
Yeah, basically you would. I mean, it's one of the most effective ways to do it. You go through an area, you bust up the flock, and you can sit down and just do a couple of yelps. And they're so vocal because most of them are, like a bunch of poults from the year from that spring, and they just come right back. All the toms are in groups usually, So if you can get into a flock of them, they do the exact same thing. I mean, I busted maybe a month ago. I went in to do some food plot work or change something, and there was like 15 toms back by one of the corn plots. Well, when I drove in there, they flew everywhere, and I'm sitting there doing something, and all of a sudden I hear yep yep over here, and then yep yep over here, and it was the toms trying to figure out where everything was, and I just sat there, and pretty soon they started popping out. They were trying to find their way back in. So it's a very effective way to kill turkeys in the fall.
Yep. And so during Thanksgiving, when you
we used to go mid-November, early November. It just kind of depends. Now I don't do it so much. I haven't shot one. A couple years ago, I shot one out of the soft side blind with the girls. I wanted to hunt, and Jenny was gone or something like that. So I took the girls down, and they were sitting there reading books, and I had 17 toms come in. I shot a big double bearded.
Yeah, it's so hard turkey hunting in the fall.
Oh, yeah.
When you're blind, it's a little different. But when
they see you?
When you're in a tree stand, it's literally like, oh, hey, there's turkeys. There's a limb in your way. As soon as they get past that limb, they pick you out, and they're
Yep. They look up all the time. You think deer look up?
Yep.
Turkeys, I just have better eyesight.
Yep.
They have way better eyesight than
yeah.
deer.
And I guess seeing a giant blob in the tree that doesn't look natural.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when I shot him, I had like 6 or 7 turkeys coming in, and I'm like, please go, please leave.
Yeah.
And so when they got around that corner, I just moved a little bit, and they were just gone. So
Yep. You want them to not be in front of you because
yes.
they will blow out of the area for no reason
But the
whatsoever.
odds of killing one from a tree, I would say, are horrible compared to a blind.
I think I've killed 2, and typically I only shoot them with their toms. I just, it depends on the morning. I mean,
Yep.
I've killed 1 hen from the tree stand in the fall, and I've killed 2 toms from tree stands in the fall, but that's over like 20 years.
Yeah, and say
I've tried. About every year I get an opportunity, and 9 times out of 10 doesn't work.
Yeah. I'd say I've only ever killed 1 hen with the beard and that was in the spring. I didn't know any better. She had a giant beard. It's turkey.
Legal.
Yeah. Well, it was funny because I was in Northeast Iowa. She flew down off this big bluff, and then the tom flew down behind her. And I think this was way back, even before it was probably real hunting. And she came in, and she had this beard just swanging, and he flew down. And he was strutting behind her. I'm like, oh, there's 2 toms. And I shot her. And I'm like, oh, this is weird. It's a hen.
Yep, those spurs aren't very big.
No, there's no spurs. But, yeah, so back to early season tactics.
It's all weather.
It is.
It's
and
weather.
If the first cold front we get, you better be in a tree. You better be doing whatever you can. Those acorns, I mowed today all day at work, and there's under every oak, there's acorns galore. And have you ever tasted an acorn? They taste different, like each tree. Aaron kind of went over this today or yesterday. We cracked one open, make sure they don't have the worm in there.
Right.
But they don't taste horrible. But you also have your so the acorns. You have apples that start to drop. The plum tree out here. There's wild plums.
Right.
There's wild apples. There's different fruits hitting the ground. Those deer are shedding velvet. They're moving. So early season, you got to key in on cold fronts, and if you can get on the edge with the edge of the timber with acorns, going out to green, yes, yep. Water's huge right now. I have a camera up on a water hole, and I got bucks bedding there every night, and it's kind of cool because during the heat of the day, they're right on the edge of that bulrush that's shading them. They can go get a drink, but at night, they're getting up, they're walking around. There's raccoons trying to catch frogs.
Oh, yeah.
And the frogs' eyes are all lit up in the cameras. It's kind of cool. But, so, yeah, water is a huge thing because, the creek is dry. The rivers are so low right now.
It's warm.
I've never seen the Raccoon River, South Raccoon, this low.
It's bad. That's part of the reason we didn't catfish more than 3 times.
Right, and then, so EHD, that's another topic, a hot topic. Guys down in southern Iowa, which I hope
I haven't heard anything.
I have in this.
Well, at least not in my area.
That's good. But the Snapchat group I'm in, there's a few guys that have. One guy was creek riding on a dirt bike or 4-wheeler. They found watched a few that were dying. But I hope it doesn't affect us. I hope we get some cold weather and we get a hard freeze soon. So
Doesn't look good.
no, it does not look good at all. But I mean, it is what it is. I think, there's a big discussion to be said with EHD, and we could talk about this for 2 hours. But I don't know if there's some immune properties that our deer have up there.
Oh, I 100% think there's
there's
a tolerance that builds up
down south. I think there's been studies that have shown the tolerance, but I don't know if there's a fine line or if there's just a variance of weather patterns with the midge fly. I guess maybe there's more research we could dive into and check out, but I don't know. I haven't seen it when it was bad down in Warren County. Was that 16?
Yeah.
When it was real bad. When did Kalen find his big one dead?
About
16 or 17.
It hit down where I hunt in Decatur County in
Clark. It was real bad
12
there.
12 and 13.
Yeah, it was real bad. So 12 and 13
was
I
for
think
us.
Kalen was after that.
Yeah.
But when we had it, I only heard of one deer dying from what we were guessing EHD.
Right.
So,
the signs, by water, in water.
Yep. Healthy, just dead.
And it's crazy how it's pockets. A lot of times it's pockets. Like every year you hear about it, but it might be part of a county or 4 or 5 farms.
Yep.
And now with social media, everybody talks about it, and which is a good thing because you can kind of figure out what's around.
Yeah. And I hope it just didn't, jinx us, but I don't think I've seen that this year. And it seems like with that fly, and I'm kind of just going out on a limb here and just guessing with that midge fly, and to bite into a deer, where is the deer's to get to the blood vessel, to get to the,
It's velvet.
It's got to be the velvet. So
velvet or their ears.
Their ears are thinner, but like
Butthole.
actually, yeah, the butthole. That's true. The underneath the belly. So there's the deer has the velvet on. They can bite through that and get in there, and I'm guessing go down through their nervous system and then act that way. So, but when they're hard horn, I'm hoping that mitigates that issue a little bit. It helps.
I think it typically, at least it seems that way. And I think a lot of times when people are finding deer that are hard horn, it's early, so maybe they've already had it. And at this point, we know that there's at least 2 forms of EHD. There's you're dead, and then there's the weakening that it may.
Those deer that weaken are the ones that
are dying later,
or not dying, and
not dying.
They're beating it, and then they're getting that
immunity. I'm assuming
immunity properties.
I'm not a biologist, but I'm assuming that has a lot to do with it.
You did stay at a Holiday Inn, but
what?
You stayed at a Holiday Inn once, right?
Right. Try not to, but yeah, it's.
So that's
something.
That's an ugly factor that hopefully we don't have to deal with, because that could ruin a lot of people's seasons. I mean, it's a biological factor that there's nothing we can do about unless, Mother Nature
finds a way.
Yep. Evolution. So, early season, most of the times when I've had success, it's on those field edges. It's right the last 15, 20 minutes of dark. And it's the deer going out to the destination ag fields.
Yeah. They're either going to the little bit of beans they want to munch on, or they're going to the corn.
I will not hunt a spot that I cannot get out of. And basically, like, let's say I got a spot in the timber that I know there's deer. Right at last light, if there's deer in the area, I'll climb down. I'm not going to sleep in my spot like some people.
Right.
But I will run out of there and act like a coyote. Like, I will not act like a human. I think that's what a lot of people don't understand is you keep hunting the same spot over and over and over, and you keep doing the same thing, and the deer come to smell you. But I'll get down and I'll run 20 yards and bark like a dog, and then I'll stop because I'm out of breath. And then I'll run another 20 yards to the e-bike or wherever to try to get out of their view. And a lot of times they start running and they have no idea what's going on.
As soon as they start moving.
But you can, early season, you can hunt a stand as long as you take into consideration walking in, you spook a deer. If you got cows around, moo like a cow, or, yelp like a turkey. Throw a turkey call in your mouth. Like, I don't have a turkey call. I don't need one, but if those people that
I've had them in my, I usually have a diaphragm in my pack, and
it works 100%
for killing a turkey.
Yep. Yep, you jump a deer, act like an animal. I did this the other day. There's no cows in the area, but I mooed at it, and it's like, it stopped. Like, what the heck was that? And
Right.
I wasn't even going to hunt. I was going to hang a camera or something. So, but the more people out in the woods, the more you're pressuring those deer, and the more they kind of, you know, October lulls because you're putting your human scent out there. Those deer are kind of patterning you. So, whatever you can do to get the edge.
Yeah.
I think that's key. So,
and I think one thing that doesn't get talked about enough, that's a big issue, is when not to hunt.
yeah.
Like just
So we've learned. I think we've learned this. Like last year in particular,
I'm a prime example of it because I used to hunt. Hey, I can hunt tonight.
yeah, I'm going. Yep, it's 90 degrees out.
I don't do that anymore.
Don't hunt. Go do something if you have time, and you go put out a camera at a different property. Go hang a stand somewhere else.
Hang out with the family.
Hang out with the family, and that's the biggest thing.
Save those butt chewings for November.
Right.
Or that cold front. Like, hey, honey, I'm sorry. It dropped 20 degrees last night.
I'm going hunting. What do I need to
tonight.
do? Do I need to do the dishes to make you happy, or do I
Yep.
need to go get groceries
Yep.
the day before? Watch the weather.
Whatever I got to do.
Those weather apps are huge. Deercast does work. The red
100%.
moon's a real thing, and
I think it's when you compile all these things.
yep,
There's a reason that they're all there.
Right.
And it's why not stack every little bit of advantage in your favor. The weather, the temperature, the barometric pressure. Like, there's a reason when all these things come together, big deer die.
Yep. And I 100% agree, and you can't tell me otherwise.
Right. And it's and once again, they're not 100%. We're all aware of this. But to be fair, there's a reason that all those things
It
work.
works. It does. And that's you as hunters, we, weather.com or Weather Underground, we are looking at those things when it's the best time to go out and hunt. But like you said, last year, I didn't hunt. I hunted opener, and then I hunted the 7th because I shot Carlos.
Yep.
We had a cold front the 7th, and on opener, I've always went, and I have a long story that goes with that. I'm not going to get into that because I don't want to shed any tears. But so I don't go. The camera's blinking. No, it's good.
No,
So
I switched.
but like, yeah, between like early October, if it's going to be 80, 90 degrees, don't waste your time. Spend the time with the family. Get
Yep.
get your honeydews done.
Yeah, just being there is like, well, hey, I didn't hunt for I didn't hunt
Yeah,
all last
I didn't
week.
hunt all last week. So, but there's 3 days in a row, honey,
Yeah.
can I hunt? Or if you don't have a family, go scout from the road.
Yeah,
If you
sit
want to
in your
get out,
truck,
yes,
drive around,
grab a Gatorade and a Snickers and go drive around and see if you can put some windshield time in.
Yeah.
So, but don't ruin those spots.
Yeah, or
by-
sit at home and watch TV. Don't
Yep.
burn your spots
Go
up.
shoot your bow at
because-
home. Yep.
Don't burn your spots up.
Yep.
And that is something that we have learned over the last decade
Yep.
to not do. And it's really hard for somebody who likes to shoot does, knowing, there's probably going to be some does out still, to go, man, it's not worth it.
Yep.
Like, it's not
If you're
worth
targeting these certain deer, if you're targeting just hey, I'm going to go out and hunt and shoot the first thing that walks by, then do whatever you want. And I've had certain stands that I know that I can get in and out clean, pretty good odds that these deer are going to come past me one way, go out into the destination field, which has changed from crop rotation to now it's in CRP program. So it's all grass, and it's, I think, second year. So it's all kind of mowed and about knee high, but so I can get in and out of there still, but there's not as many deer, and the certain deer that I'm hunting is not there. So there's different variables. If I'm just going to go shoot a doe and it's hot out, I'm probably not going to go shoot a doe because it's hot out.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
So,
So, I think that's kind of early season in a nutshell. Watch the weather.
Yep.
Pick your shot. If you have MRI,
Hunt the cold fronts.
If you have MRI of a deer, get after him. If you don't, watch your cell cams.
But if you do want to hunt, just to hunt, and you do shoot a doe, make sure that you have the time and you're going to be able to cut her up and put her in the freezer right away.
You just got to know what's going on. You don't want to. the last thing you want to do is go out and just waste deer just
Yeah.
to go shoot
Yeah.
them. I mean, that's
If you're not going to be able to cut it up and have the meat and
or drop the whole thing
or
off
donate,
the locker.
yes.
Like a lot of these lockers will charge you, you know, $100 to skin your deer and debone it and all that stuff. Maybe that $100 is worth it that day.
Yeah, don't let that meat go bad.
Yeah.
You know, we're not just shooting to kill animals. We're, you know,
it's
feed the family. You had a deer stick at one of mine before you came in here. Like
barbecue.
that freezer, barbecue. That freezer's full of deer. So,
yep, 100%.
But so that's October. But when we get closer, I'd say like October 25th is when things start to change.
Yep.
Or
and we'll go over that. And what you're going to find out with these podcasts now, we've done these like 10 to 14 days ahead of schedule. These are now going to be the week of, because we're getting into season. We want to relay what we're seeing, what all of our team is seeing, what our friend groups are seeing, and be able to relay this in a podcast.
Yeah. But
listening.
In reality though, like the whole October, it's the whole lull thing is the 1st to the 25th, and then things change from there.
Yeah.
So with that being said, we don't need to go into the 25th, but early season tactics, that's your first, you know, those bean fields still might have deer hitting them. The leaves are changing. A lot of things are changing in the woods. You know, plants are senescing and dying, and those deer are moving out of those areas into those honeysuckle areas where it's thicker. So just take that into consideration. Hopefully you guys have success this year. And if you could, you know, give this video a thumbs up and a like and a comment, and, you know, whatever else they can do.
Yeah. So this video, if you're watching this on the YouTube channel, it is the 10th of September. The 2 velvet hunts will be out this week.
Which one are you doing first?
I'm going to do Dylan's big buck first, the 180, and then I'm going to do Hunter's.
Hunter's wasn't no slouch, though. That's a big deer.
Solid 8
So
point.
you're going to have those 2 videos.
Those 2 will be released the week of this. Next week, which
so that'd be a hot week. And I think, you know, things are just getting better and better.
Yep. And then the week after, and that weekend is youth season.
So
from here on out, it's
Mitch will be taking his daughter. No, his daughter's probably old enough.
She's old enough. There's some other people. Ryan's got a kid.
Good.
And then there's multiple people that'll be able to take youth hunters out. There's still
Shroppy.
Ken. Dalton still got a tag in Kentucky.
So those guys in Kentucky have multiple tags for bow?
No, Dalton hasn't shot his yet.
Right.
So
is it one and done in Kentucky?
Yes.
So
I think those
guys are done.
I think that you might be able to get a gun tag, but they're done with bows.
Okay.
Hannah lives down there, and she's got a tag. I talked to her when I was down there. It was just hot, seeing some small bucks, nothing she wanted to shoot, but I think she's in a bass tournament this weekend.
Oh, nice.
So still fishing. They don't get cold down there like we do up here. So
catch some green carp. Let's go.
So it's go time now. So it's not so much the summer filler. Now it's
deer hunts.
All that work that we did all summer is now going to get put into
practice. It's going to be exciting. I think as long as you guys follow along, I mean, you're going to see a week-to-week episode as fast as you can produce it, right?
Yep. I'm wanting to get the successful hunts that are caught on video are going to be out as soon as I get the footage. I will edit them within a couple days and get them put out. So,
and on top of that, with the podcast thing, we're going to try to see if we can figure something out remotely where we can Zoom and still get this footage to Jesse to edit.
Yeah.
You know, if there's a hunter that kills a deer.
Yeah.
And
like Hunter down in Kentucky. Yeah. You can kind of explain what's going on with
his. He can jump on a podcast on Zoom on his phone, and we can record that live. And so
that's in the process.
We're trying. We try to work things out.
It's getting pretty fancy, so we're trying to get all of our ducks in a row.
This is only our 8th podcast, but I mean, we are growing and people like it. So
this is like our 30th podcast. That's if we count the ones that didn't work right.
Yes, the cameras have not failed us now. So that's exciting. This is fun. Jesse just stops over after I'm off work, and he's here before I get off work.
Yeah, get here, set everything up. So all you have to do is go change and jump in here and knock stuff out. And
we're done. Now I got to go shower because I've been mowing all day, and it's like a dust bowl out there.
Yeah. Yep, 100%. It's like 4:30, so not bad.
Not bad. Jace will be home knocking on the door here soon, so.
Perfect. But, yeah, really look forward to those Kentucky hunts dropping this week.
I'm excited.
Hopefully youth season kills next week.
We'll see. Jace has got a couple. He shot his gun last week, and then he's been shooting the BB gun every night, and he hit the can a couple times last night with no sights on the BB gun, so he's learning, and it'll be fun. It'll be a exciting fall. So hopefully the Hawkeyes. Is that the chair?
Yeah. That was the chair.
Now the tuxedos seem ketchup and
onions.
Yep, I can taste it.
So yeah, football starts, fantasy leagues.
Oh man,
it's fall.
Before we go, did you get a good draft with the Outdoor X? How many leagues are you in?
3.
Man, I did that one year and I cannot do that again.
I love it. And I didn't realize fantasy's been going on for like 20 plus years. I've only been doing it for like 4 or 5.
I've been doing it. This is my 3rd year. First year I got dead last. Second year I won. And then this is my 3rd year. So.
Yeah, we did some of the Outdoor X guys. And some people love football. Some people hate football.
Don't. Yeah.
Some people love college more than pros. I agree. I'm a college football guy, but I'm a big Vikings fan. Always have been. My dad always was. Through the ups and the downs, mostly downs and heartbreak. Mostly heartbreak, but yeah, I love football.
Yeah.
High school, we'll go to 4 or 5 high school games. My oldest will be in junior high next year.
So she'll be going and
they'll have junior high football games and high school football games, and it'll be Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So literally Thursday through Monday will be football for me.
Yeah, and I think I've been to 2 of the Earlham games the last 2 Fridays, and it's fun watching.
Man,
yeah.
Make you feel how old you are.
I know, yeah. Then
God, I could probably do that.
No,
then you
definitely couldn't.
You stand up and your back hurts.
Yeah, I had to go to the chiropractor yesterday. He's like,
out.
"Oh, your hips are out." I'm like, "Oh, okay." But yeah, football is fun. So
love it.
Fantasy football.
It's fall. I love this time of year. It's been a hot last couple weeks, and I'm just ready for.
Yeah, today was beautiful.
I'm ready for those 30-degree mornings in the stand.
And sweatshirt and coat on.
Yep. 100%.
The time is nearing.
I'm ready. So.
And then those who are listening on the Outdoor Dan Radio podcast,
yep,
is that what it is?
Outdoor Call Radio
app. Yep. Yeah, we appreciate you guys too. So.
Yeah, a lot of things coming down the pipe. It's going to be an awesome fall, and I'm ready for it. So ready to edit a whole bunch of videos.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. So.
All right, let's get out of here.
All right. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good night.